Hey everyone, welcome to another Goody Reader comparison video. My name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Today we have the new Amazon Kindle Fire HDX versus the new Amazon Kindle Fire HD. Both of these tablets just came out, and it's worthy of a head-to-head comparison because aesthetically they almost look the same, but there's some subtle differences underneath the hood, and we're going to tell you a little bit about them. First of all, they're both 7 inches, and the resolution on the Kindle Fire HD is 1280 by 800, whereas the resolution on the HDX is 1920 by 1200. A dual-core 1.5 gigahertz processor is on the Kindle Fire HD. On the Kindle Fire HDX, it's a quad-core 2.2 gigahertz. 1 gig of RAM on the HD versus the 2 gigs on the HDX. And there's different storage options. The HD only has 8 gig or 16 gig storage options, whereas the HDX has 16, 32, or 64 gig storage options. There's no camera on the HD, but there's a 720p HD front-facing camera. Battery life, relatively the same. The HD has 10 hours, whereas the HDX has 11 hours.
They look exactly the same in terms of the operating system because they're both running Amazon's skinned version of Android called Mojito. They have the top scroller bar with apps and games and music and all that. This is called the Carousel. And they used to have a favorites section down here, but they've now incorporated it into a kind of extended window where you can house some of your apps, or if you want your full list of apps, you can click on apps and choose either cloud or on device to see what you have on your account.
There is a big price difference between these two models, right? I know the HD is like the low hundreds, like $129 or so for the entry model, whereas with the HDX, what's it, like $229, $250?
It does vary what market you're in. Because it's only in a few markets, this can range anywhere from $200 to $250, and this is about $120 to $160 depending on the market. But the price differences between these is about $60 to $100.
Well, they look the same aesthetically. You would be hard pressed to put both of these in the same person's hand and say, you know, what's the difference? They'd be like, hey, it looks the same.
And they are both high definition.
Right. So what we're gonna do is let's fire up the Rolling Stone magazine. Looking at the same magazine cover might be a way that we can determine what looks better.
And remember, this is the HDX on the left, and the HD is on the right. It's kind of really hard to tell.
It is hard to tell.
With the naked eye, from what we can see here in the studio, I would say that the colors are a little more true over here, whereas they're ever so slightly faded here. But it's a very hard.
Say that the Rolling Stone color is a little bit more richer on the HDX than the HD, but that's just us nitpicking.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to put these, oh look, honestly, these aren't too different, and we could sit here and nitpick on, oh, you know, it's a little more contrasty over here, but I mean, that is our job, so that's why we're doing it. But I mean, yeah, if you put these in someone's hand and say, hey, check this out,
you can put.
I don't think. Oh, I know where you're going. Milky Way.
You could put one of these in my hand; it would be
any
okay.
Day of the week. It looks to be the biggest difference seems to be the colors more than the resolution itself.
Well, let's look at the blues here and see if we notice a difference. Check out that shot. It's hard to determine.
It is. It's a minuscule difference, which is actually a positive thing because it shows you that if you do want a lower priced tablet, that you actually could go with the Kindle Fire HD 2013.
And not be missing a whole lot.
Exactly.
At least when it comes to this magazine. In effect, this magazine could be in a certain resolution.
Right, exactly.
Okay, now, is that the case or not? Well, let's take a look at a comic book, because this is another test to see with the Marvel app, which is fed by Comixology, if this makes a big difference.
So we're on the home screen here. Well, not the home screen, the home page of this particular comic. And I think you might be right. It looks like the blacks and the lines on this guy are a little more clear. It almost looks like a touch fuzzy on the Kindle Fire HD on the right here compared to this. And the colors are also a little bit different. Now remember, this is obviously us nitpicking because they both look great. No discredit for the Kindle Fire HD. They're both awesome. But if we had to choose one, we would definitely say that this is looking...
All right, let's try these yellows here, because yellows sometimes are a great way to determine color scale.
Yeah, once again, it's really hard to say. Let you guys make the decision. I mean, this is just us talking. It all comes down to you guys watching this video to say, hey, I guess they're right. This one does look, a little bit different.
Okay, well, this is how comics look head-to-head. A resolution doesn't make a whole lot of difference when it comes to looking at an ebook.
Absolutely.
But let's take a look at an ebook and just give you a sense on how it actually looks text to text.
Now, this is the same page. As you can see, no comment and no comment. We've changed the text a bit. We don't know why it's not.
Is this like sepia or something? Because that looks like a whiter background.
No, we're on the same whiteness. We're max brightness on both of these. The Kindle HDX is looking a little more. It's like it's got a little bit more of a gray purple in it, whereas this looks more of a truer white. It's kind of weird.
I kind of found that. I never really noticed that when we did the singular review videos. That is quite odd.
And we're under the same shot here in the same light, so we have, just to give you a little bit of info here, we have ways to change text, themes, borders, line spacing, and different fonts of text. I'm not going to show you on the Kindle HD because it's the same thing. You can make bookmarks, you can long press, and one of the great features of Amazon is that you have translation. You can actually translate the entire book if you want into any language, even Asian characters like Korean. You can change it to that and it actually speaks back to you.
좋은 질문입니다.
So not a bad feature at all. But this is what you're dealt with when you put these side by side. If you want to know what they each look like in an ebook, here it is.
Okay, so here's my thoughts, is that this is a whiter background than this, and all the settings I just checked and they're exactly the same. When it comes to reading, I would almost say that this is maybe a little bit better, because this is like a white background, and I could tell that over long reading durations, the white from the LCD would hurt your eyes, but this is like a softer, almost like gray, and there's like less a light, because it's a less of a white background. Your eyes are almost fooled to it being almost like be reading on paper, and I could probably see reading an hour on this would be easier than reading an hour on this, and I'm going to actually test that at home tonight by reading an hour on each one and to see if it's a noticeable difference on my eyes.
Sounds good.
Okay, so core features are relatively the same, but the background is actually noticeably different. Higher resolution versus lower resolution. The speakers on here are on the HD are actually on the bottom, whereas the speakers on the HDX are actually at the top. How does this play out when we're watching a movie with both video and sound at the same time? This is going to be our next test.
Wait. We will collect the teeth.
What?
We get teeth. Children keep believing in you.
We're talking 7 continents and millions of kids.
Give me a break. You know how many toys I deliver in one night? And egg.
We've looked at a lot of the content differences. When it comes to the software differences, there isn't many. One of them is kind of a big deal to some, but may not be a big deal to others. The Kindle Fire HDX has Mayday, and this is because it has a front-facing camera. This allows you to talk with a live agent. They could assist you with common problems, such as how do I establish parental permissions in Kindle Free Time, or how do I go about, downloading an app from the App Store. They could actually highlight things and walk you through it. with the Kindle Fire HD, it only has a help button, and that's because you don't have a camera to actually talk with anybody. So this may be a make or break deal for some people. In essence, any type of content that you can download from the store is just as compatible with each one. So you saw from our tests our thoughts and some of the subtle differences. If you have any ideas for other head-to-head future videos between these two, or any comments, questions, or concerns, drop a comment on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/goodereader. And for all the latest news, previews, interviews, and industry-wide coverage, you can check out our main website, goodereader.com. And if you're interested in downloading any of the apps that Amazon doesn't have, you can check out our app store at apps.goodereader.com, and you can see that here is our free client. New apps added every day, over 100,000 apps that are all curated, so we only focus on quality apps. So for a comparison of the Amazon Kindle Fire HDX versus the Amazon Kindle Fire HD 2013 edition, my name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Everybody take care.